Hello, my name is Emily and I'm the Director of Learning and Interpretation at the Cincinnati Art Museum. And welcome to the 100th edition of CAM Look, your daily dose of the Cincinnati Art Museum. As you know, each weekday a staff member or volunteer shares a work from our permanent collection and poses a few questions for discussion. Every day is a new work and a new chat. Today I'm sharing a few of my favorite works from the collection by American painter James Roy Hopkins. They include Frivolity, Mandarin Blue, and a work that has a personal connection to me, which I'll explain later, the Smithy. James Roy Hopkins was born in the farming community of Irwin, Ohio in 1877. His mother painted with watercolors and encouraged her son's artistic interests. Hopkins initially entered Ohio State University in 1896 to study electrical engineering. However, he soon left and briefly enrolled in the Columbus School of Art before going to the Art Academy of Cincinnati, where he studied with Frank Duveneck. After a brief period as an illustrator in New York from 1900 to 1902, he moved to Paris where he studied at the Académie Colorasi, hope I said that right, and was part of a circle of American artists who knew Monet. As a result, his art became less detailed with looser brushwork and more emphasis on lighting. Hopkins was also heavily influenced by the Art Nouveau style and created extremely graceful images of ladies, either nude or in flowing gowns, with upswept hair and often posed against patterned walls, as you can see in his work Frivolity from 1905 to about 1911. In 1904, Hopkins returned to Ohio to marry a fellow Art Academy of Cincinnati classmate, Edna Boyes, who was also an accomplished printmaker. You can check out her work now on view at the museum. They soon returned to Paris and traveled throughout Europe, Asia, and Northern Africa. In 1914, the outbreak of World War I forced the couple to return to Ohio. Upon returning to Cincinnati, Hopkins continued to paint as he did in Paris. Mandarin Blue is one of those pictures whose title derives from the color of the gown Mrs. Hopkins wears. When his former teacher Frank Duveneck passed away in 1919, Hopkins took over his position as head of the Cincinnati Art Academy. While teaching at the Art Academy, Hopkins began to spend their summers in the nearby Cumberland Mountains of Kentucky. From 1915 to 1917, the artists set up a studio at an inn and befriended the locals. Hopkins' compassionate portrayals of the Cumberland Falls community make up his most well-known series of works. The subjects are shown truthfully with the evidence of their hard lives visible on their faces. But Hopkins was also sure to portray them with respect and dignity. The Smithy is an example of one of the paintings he did while in the Cumberland Mountains. Hopkins obviously created a good rapport with this gentleman as he painted him again in the Columbus Museum of Art's painting, The Old Orchard. If you look closely, our Smithy is wearing the same blue shirt in both portraits. So as I mentioned, I actually have a personal connection to this work of art. No, I'm not related to the man in the painting, but when this work came into the collection in 2002, part of 78 paintings we received from P&G, the first thing I thought was how much he looked like my paternal grandpa. In preparing for this talk, I asked my sister to find a few pictures of my grandpa that I could share so you could see the resemblance. But then I realized he doesn't really look like the Smithy. But I also realized it wasn't so much about the physical resemblance, but the resemblance of spirit. My grandpa was a butcher by trade, a woodworker by hobby, and he had the same strong frame as the Smithy, the same kind but firm eyes, the same gentle demeanor. So when I look at this work of art, I think of my grandpa, and it reminds me how much I loved him, and I do miss him. And it made me wonder if other people look at works of art in either the museum's collection or another art museum's collection and think, wow, they really remind me of my grandpa or another family member or a close friend. I would love to know what you think. And if you have any of works in our collection that remind you of someone you love, please share in the comments below. Thanks and have a great day.